Hey, good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another Inside Edition of Voice of Victory Lane with Kip Thompson. Tonight's show is being brought to you in part, always, by our good friends at Raging Rooster Catering. Tony and Bobby Jackson, my good friends out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Groups of 25 or more, hey, you need to hit them up on Facebook. You can look at their Facebook page and see their email address, their telephone number. Reach out to them, call them today, and those guys will get you set up for your next event, whether it be a reunion, a wedding, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever, groups of 25 or more, Tony and Bobby Jackson, sure enough, will hook you up. And also, if you do a lot of cooking like I do, when we're at the racetrack or at home or whatever, nothing is fully done off the grill until you season it with the rooster himself's very own all-purpose seasoning. Make sure you get some of that today. All right, so we're going to jump into the show tonight. It's going to be a quick show. As promised, on Voice of Victory Lane Facebook page, Joey Chapman and myself had kind of already set up a deal that after this Hall of Fame race that took place last weekend at the Cherokee Motor Speedway, that we would come on and do another show and do a race recap. Now, going forward through the end of the 2022 racing season, Joey and I and the officials for the Carolina Clash Super Late Model Dirt Series have also agreed that every time they race, we're going to do a video to promote their race, wherever it may be. And we're also going to come back a couple of days after the race, or just as time allows, to do a race recap for those guys. All right, so again, no stranger to the show. Let's jump right in. Hey, Joey, man, glad to have you on the show. What a special weekend. Hall of Fame race at the Cherokee Motor Speedway. Was able to watch it myself. Saw our good friend Jeff Smith be inducted into the Hall of Fame. What a special weekend.
Yes, sir, man. It was great. And as always, man, pleasure to be on your show. Thank you for doing what you do. And it was a great night at Cherokee Motor Speedway. They inducted a lot of members into their annual Hall of Fame, and it was special for me, too, to have Jeff inducted into that. The Smith family has a long history at Cherokee Motor Speedway, from Grassy to Freddie to Jeff, tradition just continuing on, and it was an honor to see him inducted into that. And his race didn't go too well. He had a rough night, but I know he was honored to be into it, and, we did have a great show.
Well, it was a great show, and I enjoyed watching it. And before we start on the recap, again, one more time, Jeff Smith, our good friend, who we've been, all of us have been kind of in cahoots in the racing industry together since the early 90s. He's got his deal started out with the Benson Ford crowd with us, and it was a special night, and I'm very, very proud to say that I was able to witness Jeff Smith being inducted into the Hall of Fame at the Cherokee Motor Speedway. Okay, now let's talk about the race, Joey. It was kind of reminiscent of the last time you guys came to the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. We kind of dodged the rain. I was watching your video the day of the race. Hey, you were at mile marker, whatever. Hey, no rain in sight. We're going to race. And I was like, heck yeah. The weatherman is wrong. Joey Chapman's got it right on his AccuWeather forecast. And about 9:30, here comes the rain.
Yes, sir. Right before we were fixing to qualify and the rain came, we had a small delay. But Tony Adair and his staff at Cherokee Motor Speedway did a great job. They had the racetrack prepared. They had it sealed up, so a little bit of a rain. It was just a small delay. They rolled the racetrack in, and we rolled into qualifying, and everything went really smooth. It was a late night, but everybody at the racetrack and all the racers, they were anxious to race, and it just turned into a great night.
Well, one of the things that I thought was super cool, after the rain ended, the announcer was there and begging for the cars to come in and roll in the track. And these businesses and people in the stands, hey, the next class of car comes up, gets a $50 bonus. The next car that comes up, $20 bonus. And it just started like a barrel roll effect. And I thought, how cool is that? Fans are getting involved. They paid money. They're going to give money to get the track prep. And I know it had to be local businesses and stuff too, but fans were like a double bonus, getting exactly what they paid for. And man, the Carolina Class Super Late Model guys delivered what these guys paid for.
Yes, it's just amazing. They came to see a race. They wanted to see a race, and they were enticing people to get out there and get this thing rolled in. And like I said, the staff did a wonderful job. Everything went off great. When we rolled onto the racetrack, it was wide open, ready to go from the get-go, and qualifying was phenomenal. Ross Bales set a blistering pace. And anytime Ross shows up at Cherokee Motor Speedway, you expect him to be fast. And Dennis Rambo Franklin, extremely quick. There were several surprises in qualifying, though. John Price sat on the outside front row. Dale Timms had a great qualifying effort. Bryson Harper qualified fourth. This is some young talent that's coming along, and they had great qualifying efforts, and just goes to show you that the talent is coming along. We old school racers, but there's some young talent coming along that is going to make some of these guys live hard in the future.
Well, I'll tell you, talking about the qualifying, man, you got to tip your hat to John Price. Man, it was almost like a written story, a Cinderella story, as Mark Huey called it. It's like, the Cinderella, the silver slipper for a long time in that race. The silver slipper fit on that P4 ride. Okay, so he qualifies outside pole. Ross Bales qualifies fast time. Chooses the outside. From the get-go, Price beats him to the corner, right? And leads, 33 laps?
Yes, sir.
And did every single thing he could do to hold off Ross Bales and Ben Watkins. So with about 28, 29 laps in the books, I mean, these guys are doing everything they can to get by him. And so it's all of a sudden, it's like, all right, Bales and Watkins radio each other in the car. Okay, hey, let's make our move. Bales throws it to the shop shelf. Watkins goes to the bottom. And these guys are racing like it's like the Eldora, like a race at Eldora. It is a $7,500 race to win, but John Price goes in and does his thing to show, hey, I belong here. I can compete with the best of the best in this part of the country. Caution lap 33. Restart, and daggone the right rear doesn't go down.
Yeah, his tire was already a little soft. He told me his car slowed down a little those last 3 or 4 laps right before the caution. So he felt like the tire was going down. And if you notice in the video, when he stopped on the front stretch, it wasn't completely flat, but it was soft. That's the reason we gave him time to change his tire. Once that happened, it was pretty much over. Ross kind of had it when he got out in clean air. He had checked out on everybody. And I told Ross today, I appreciate him stinking up the show after John had that flat tire. It was a really great show till then. But John is this. He set out this year to run for Rookie of the Year with the Carolina Clash, and if you'll go back and look over the years, he has steadily made progressions through the year. And him and another guy, Dale Timms. These guys have made waves in the limiteds and the crate racing in this part of the country. Dale Timms had a strong 5th place run. Came up through the field. He didn't qualify real well, but he came up through the field. And these guys are making you take notice. They're making themselves a presence known here in this area, and you'll just see that continue on. So like I mentioned before, it's awesome to have those guys doing that.
Well, it was a great show. And back again, to where, your top 3, you got Price, you got Bales, and then you've got Ben Watkins. These guys are putting on one heck of a show. Okay, the flagman goes with the cross sticks halfway. We're at the halfway mark. Right about lap 25, man, it started heating up everywhere around there, because there you look right behind the leader. There's Bales, there's Ben Watkins, and then here comes Rambo. And, man, it was about to get really, really interesting right there. I don't know if I could have called it, because there could have been it got almost to the point, who are you going to try to throw the blanket over? Because you can't if that caution had not happened.
Yeah. Cautions always seem to come into play and kind of shake things up a little bit, make it a little more interesting. That's part of the fun and thrill of what we do. I'm sure, John would have rather not had that caution with the flat tire and stuff, but that's one of the things that's good about these 50 and 60 and 100 lap races. Some of those things always come into play. Cherokee always comes into play in these long races with tire wear and tire management and having to be smart and save those. And John actually sent me a picture today of his tire, showing me. He said, Joey, I didn't wear it out. I did have a flat. I didn't abuse my tire. I had enough tire to run the rest of the race. And that just goes to show he was trying to take care of his tires. He was running as hard as he could, but he knew he had to take care of them. And, it just turned into a great night. And, he was a little disappointed that he didn't win. He ended up finishing 8th because of the flat. But I think he proved to himself and to everybody around here that I can run with these guys in this part of the country. And, that'll give him a lot of confidence moving forward. He's currently 5th in our points. He's a lead rookie of the year. And he's only about 60 points behind David Yandel. And Mike Huey's just a few more in front of him. So it'll be a tight points battle in the top 5. Rambo's leading. He's got a slim lead over Adam Yarborough. So it's going to be really, really interesting as the season winds down to see what happens, because there's not a lot of points in that difference in that top 5. So it's really going to be a tight points battle to the end.
Well, I could do nothing but agree with you when you talk about John, his deal, Saturday night. What a confidence boost for him to know that, yes, he can compete. But also, hey, you got to go ahead and tip your hat again to the Billy Hicks on number 79, Ross Bales, who hadn't been in a car in a month and a half, almost 2 months. And you sure couldn't tell it, because like you said, after the caution, it was a checkout on Bales of the 79 ride.
Yeah, those guys work so hard all the time. I spoke with Ross a couple of weeks ago because he hadn't been racing, and he just asked him if everything was good, kind of seeing what's going on, checking in with him. And he just told me, he said, Joey, we're off a little bit. We're missing it. We've decided to take a couple of weeks off and reassess our program. And a lot of times when people say that, they think there's trouble in paradise. That's what people think. Oh, we're reassessing, so they think there's conflict in the team. And all they did was take their cars apart. Let's kind of get back to square one, make sure that, we're not missing something. And obviously they found something that they were missing and fixed the problem, because he came out, sat on the pole, ended up winning the race, and really got back on top of his game, I think.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree. So congratulations goes out to Ross Bales on winning the Hall of Fame race at the Cherokee Speedway this weekend. And also congratulations to the track, to the promoters, to the staff, to everybody was there. The place was absolutely packed. They stuck it out regardless of the rain, and that's what it takes. Fans like that, that's what we do this kind of stuff for. It's all for the fans. We love racing, but, man, without fans, it's not any fun for anybody. So congratulations to the whole entire group at the Cherokee Motor Speedway. Again, we'd like to congratulate Jeff Smith on his induction to the Hall of Fame, and Ross Bales on winning the $7,500 Carolina Clash Super Late Model Series event at the racetrack your mama warned you about, Gaffney, South Carolina's very own Cherokee Motor Speedway. All right, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, and we're going to jump right back in and talk about the next couple of weeks coming up for the Carolina Clash with Joey Chapman right here on the Voice of Victory Lane. Tonight's show is being sponsored by Raging Rooster Catering out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. We cater any event, big or small, weddings, holiday events, and festivals. Call us today, 910-237-4565. Follow us on Facebook at Raging Rooster Catering. We invite you to come get you some. Hello, race fans. Again, welcome back to the second half of another Inside Edition of Voice of Victory Lane with Kip Thompson. With me tonight is my good friend Joey Chapman, and we've been talking about a race recap for the Hall of Fame race this past weekend at the Cherokee Motor Speedway. All right, Joey, coming up, the second leg of the 2022 season. You guys are on your way to County Line Raceway in Elm City, North Carolina on the 17th, and then I'm super over the top excited to have you guys back with me at the Fayetteville Motor Speedway for the second annual Big C Memorial coming up 20.
Yes, sir. We're on the 17th of this month. We're going to County Line Speedway. And as I mentioned earlier, the very first Carolina Clash race ever held was at County Line Motor Speedway in 2000, in April of 2000. So it's always a pleasure to go back up there. Another racetrack that does a great job. They're always welcoming, and look forward to that. And then, like you said, on the 24th, we're headed to Fayetteville for the second annual Big C Memorial. Obviously, we're very excited about that. But it's just, we're always excited no matter where we go. And, I'm going to back up just a minute because I do want to make sure everybody really understands how hard these racetracks work. Tony Adair and his staff and the fans at Cherokee Motor Speedway, man, I don't know where they came from. I looked up in the stands at one point in time, and it was just vacant. And it's like when you blink your eye, this place is packed. So big shout out to the fans around Cherokee Motor Speedway that showed up and supported what Tony Adair and his staff have going on there and supporting us. It's a great night. Look forward. We're going to have a weekend off this weekend. Look forward to going to County Line on the 17th and Fayetteville on the 24th.
Well, a lot of our fans don't understand, Joey, or even realize it's kind of special. And maybe, all things kind of go together, so to speak, some way. Okay, you go back to County Line Raceway, where the Carolina Clash, the very first race ever in the history of Carolina Clash Super Late Model Dirt Series, took place right there in Elm City, North Carolina. The race was won by Roger Lucas, a borrowed race car, borrowed it from the guy we're going to honor the next weekend at Fayetteville on the 24th, Big C, Carlton Lane.
Yeah, you can talk about Big C for years and find all kind of just little interesting facts like that that's related to that Dunn Benson Ford Motorsports team. And Carlson and Kent Lamb always did such a great job and poured so much into the sport. They didn't just take. They were giving to the sport every year. And that's one of the things that made them successful. It's easy to take something, but when you give back, it just explodes, and it really shows what kind of person you are. And so many people in the industry give back like that year after year after year. And this is what makes us great.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, let's wrap it up. We have talked about the Hall of Fame race this past weekend. Ross Bales is your winner, $7,500 to win. Also, he was the Buffalo Bar Brew out of Greenwood, South Carolina Fast Time Award winner inside the Cherokee Motor Speedway. Now we look forward. We're going to go to the 17th of September. The Carolina Clash Super Late Model Dirt Series again will be at the County Line Raceway. Elm City, North Carolina will be the greatest place to watch the race that weekend. And then the following weekend, the second annual Big C Memorial inside the Carolina Bull Ring, the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. We look forward to that. And we promise coming up to the 17th, Joey and I will get on and we'll do a show about the Carolina Clash, talking about the race that will be happening on the 17th. And we'll do a recap following that race. And then we're going to be doing you're going to see a lot of us the week before the Big C Memorial. Got a couple of great shows that we want to do. We want to promote that show, and then we got a super unveiling that we're just leaving it at that. It'll be a show that you do not want to miss. Joey, man, thank you so much for all that you do. Every time I call you, hey, I'd like to do a show. I want to talk about you guys. I love the Carolina Clash. Love having you guys at our racetrack. Love you guys elsewhere. Just anytime I call you, man, you never talk no. And I appreciate what you do, brother.
Hey, thank you for all you do, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for Joey Chapman, I'm Kip Thompson, voice of Victory Lane. Tonight's show has been brought to you by Raging Rooster Catering, Tony and Bobby Jackson out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Raging Rooster Catering, these guys are just absolutely phenomenal. If you've got a social event, you got a reunion, any type of function, 25 people or more, you want to make sure that you visit them on Facebook at Raging Rooster Catering. You can find their email address and their telephone number. And as always, you got to get the Roosters all-purpose seasoning for whenever you're grilling. It's the best thing. I'm a firm believer in, and I just love it. I love Tony and Bobby Jackson. I love everything about their business. I love this all-purpose seasoning. This is the greatest stuff. So anyway, everybody stay tuned. Be on the lookout. I could be coming to a racetrack near you, and you just could be who we're talking about on our next show. Again, and Raging Rooster Catering. This is another inside edition of the Voice of Victory Lane. Watch us, look us up on Facebook, and go to our YouTube page, like, share, subscribe, and everybody have a great week and get to a racetrack somewhere this weekend. Good night, everybody.